What's good, YouTube? It's me, Coach 67 Sports TV. Shout out to the awesome and amazing LDBC, Lions Den Boston community. Shout out to the greatest university in the world, the Southern University, home of the mighty Jaguars. In this particular video, I'm going to give my post-game reaction to Southern University's win last week versus Arkansas Pine Bluff. And I'm going to give you my pregame thoughts to Southern University versus Florida A&M. Now, last week, Southern beat Arkansas Pine Bluff 27-0. And I know a lot of individuals have been like, it was an impressive win, blah, 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 blah. Me, truthfully, I was not overly impressed, not moved by the win. They should have won. It was expected. They finally got the running game on track. I think it was the first game that I can recall that Harold Blood, he actually had more touchdowns than turnovers. So, all in all, it was a decent performance, but I'm not giving them a ridiculous amount of praise from the standpoint of they did what they were expected to do. So, it's not nothing to get overly excited about. Now, today's game, FAMU has come to town. They're getting ready to play their home game against Florida A&M. Now, at the beginning of the season, Southern was predicted to win the SWAC West. FAMU was predicted to win the SWAC East. And this has kind of been the game that they predicted to be the SWAC championship. Truthfully speaking, the way Southern is playing, I don't see that to be the case right now. Maybe things might change. And, of course, I'm not a fair weather fan. I'm just a realist. I'm just going to tell you the truth and tell you how I see it from my perspective. Southern's offense is anemic at this point. Last week, they got the running game going against Pine Bluff. This was the first time they had basically 100-yard rusher since last year they played against Pine Bluff. So, they got the running game going, and I know they moved a few offensive linemen around, but it's that, are they going to be able to continue to keep that up this week? And me, truthfully, I think it's just a level of competition. I think, Pine Bluff, at this point, they're not that good. Whereas on the opposite end of the spectrum, FAMU is basically at the top of the food chain in the SWAC as we speak. So I don't expect they're going to have the same success running the ball. Another thing, too, Harold Blood, I know the offensive line has not been able to help him out with the running game, but in terms of the passing game, he hasn't done as good a job as I would have hoped that he would have done to this point in the season. He struggled for the most part. Of course, a lot of fans want Coach Dooley to open up the quarterback competition to him and Noah Bolton, Dylan Morotra. Also, even if necessary, true freshman Jalen Woods and Zay Tessick. So I don't think that's going to happen. I think just like last year when he stuck with Bashawn McCray, even though Bob McDaniel is clearly the better choice at the quarterback position, I think he's just going to stick with Harold Blood. And, just kind of be truthful, Harold Blood has been in Southern 4 years. After this year, he has 1 more year eligibility left. The fact that he hasn't been the guy to this point, it just kind of shows that, truthfully speaking, he's not that guy. Hopefully he could play better today. Hopefully he could play better just the rest of the season. But I don't see there being any earth-shattering changes. He has a tendency at times to get the ball out quick. When he gets the ball out quickly, he does well. Any 3-step drop, 5-step drop where he just gets rid of the ball, whether it's slants, hitches, sidelines, curls, speed outs, anything like that, he does well. But anytime he has to hold the ball, and if he throws the ball down the field, he has a tendency to overthrow at times. He has a tendency to underthrow at times. He has a tendency to hold the ball and try to wave receivers in the open areas instead of just getting rid of the ball. So from a quarterback awareness standpoint, he doesn't have that internal clock, when he might potentially get sacked. It's basically he thinks he could just hold the ball forever without potentially getting sacked. And it's ridiculous at this point. Now, Southern University's defense, it kept them in the first couple games against Alabama State and Jackson State, but they lost those 2 games. Against Alabama and them, I think they somewhat got exposed because they had so many offsides penalties. It was ridiculous. So I think if Jeremy Musa uses a hard count, I think he might be able to draw them offsides because to this point, they're showing a lack of discipline defensively. In addition to that, it just seems as if Kelby Givens, he's playing decent, but he hasn't played as well as many individuals would have liked. Also, I think Taj Brown, it's a little bit of adjustment from him essentially being the starting nose guard to being a defensive end. Between Givens and Brown, they've been getting pressure, but they haven't gotten as many sacks. Of course, both of them played well last week against Arkansas Pine Bluff, but like I said, it's a level of competition in my estimation. So I think the thing Coach Dooley really needs to do, if the running game struggles again, because like I said, they had success last week, but it was against Pine Bluff. So I think if they struggle, he needs to implement some halfback screens to Quarles, to Rhymes, to kind of get the offensive line going. He needs some wide receiver screens to maybe Taylor Howard, Cassius Allen, August Petrie III, whatever, Chandler Whitfield, whatever wide receiver he wants to get the ball to. He have to implement some screens to the running backs and the wide receivers. And in addition to that, he needs to implement like some draws, some shovel passes, some different things, because at this point, the old racehorse offense from the late 90s, early 2000s, it's kind of played at this point. Having a no-huddle offense that's slow in pace and tempo is pointless. I mean, it's stupid. I mean, for that, they just might as well huddle up and just run just a conventional spread offense, just a conventional offense. And if they have trouble running the ball, one thing they can also do is, I know they've only done it a couple times during the course of this year. Hey, at some point to line up in the eye, even though Gary Quarles and Kendrick Rhymes are smallish backs, even if you have to use Kobe Dillon, line up in the eye and run the ball like a few times a game. It wouldn't hurt. I mean, everybody runs spread at this point, so I don't think it'll hurt if they just lined up under center, even if they lined up in the pistol and just ran the ball. So that's kind of my pregame thoughts. Truthfully speaking, if I had to pick a winner for this game, I think it's obvious at this point the way Southern has been playing. I think FAMU is going to win this game. Hopefully I'm wrong, but I don't see that being the case. I'm getting ready to head to A.W. Mumford Stadium, Pete Richardson Field. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I'll give my post-game reaction following the game. Also, check out my brother, Jared 11 Green, on his channel. We talked about some of the SWAC games last night. We're going to do that also tomorrow night in terms of breaking down HBCU, SWAC, MEAC, and also some NFL games. So check us out. Also, check out my brother Brent Fox on his channel also. Also, check out SWAC Talk. Basically, any podcast, any YouTube channels that is geared towards SWAC content, go check them out. But I think SWAC Talk, is pretty much probably the best YouTube channel in terms of just addressing SWAC sports across the board. That's it for this video. I'll catch y'all after the game. Getting ready to head to A.W. Mumford Stadium. Y'all have a blessed and phenomenal evening. Peace and blessings.